Hello there everyone and welcome to another episode of All About a Fursuiter, the series where we interview furries. Get to know a little bit more about the furry fandom, one furry at a time. So in this episode we're going to be interviewing a furry that I've wanted to interview for quite a while, and that is Hyper Coyote, aka the I Have a Sign guy. So, as always, we'll ask him 5 questions. First question I have for you, Hyper, is, well, I think probably what everyone has on their mind is, what made you become the I Have a Sign guy? Yee.
Hi. So, your first question is a very good question. How did I become the sign guy? It all started with me looking at the interweb. I was just browsing the furry things on the online world. And I saw furries, and they're doing things. And there's some furries who are doing things with things, like signs. Like Suka. I don't know if you know Suka, but he has a sign that says, "I am not cute." And I was like, I want a sign, but what will my sign say? And then I thought about it. I was like, I have a sign. It's perfect. I'll have a sign that says I have a sign. It's genius. It's foolproof. Nothing could go wrong. So yeah, I did that, and I debuted it at Anthrocon 2022, and now I'm the sign guy. People just know me as the sign guy, and that's awesome.
That is really neat, my dude. You know, I did not know that you got that from Suka. That's really cool, dude, and just looking up the interwebs. Although if I think about that, should probably make sense. Now that I think about it, but that's really cool. That's really cool, my man. Nice. Yes. Now, on to the second question now for you, Hyper, and that is, what are some fun stories about yourself?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question. What are some signs? What are some good stories that I have about this existing? Besides, like, going around at a convention and yelling that I have a sign, like, I love that, but I have other stories. One of my stories that I will never forget because it is just so dumb. When I was a kid and I was jumping on the couch because I could, why not? My parents weren't home. Well, on a couch, there's usually cushions. And between those cushions, there's usually a crack. I was jumping, got my toe stuck in the crack, and then I just, like, fell over. And my toe got, like, stayed in the crack, and I broke my toe. So, that's a fun story. I don't know if that's the type of story you're asking for, but that's a fun story. I think so. Yeah, that happened.
Oh man, I was not expecting that, but that sounds really painful, man. I am so sorry. For me, I have never actually broken a bone, but that sounds really awful. I am so sorry you had to go through that. Oh. Although I have jumped on beds and cushions and a lot of stuff when I was a kid too, so we've all been there, I think. On to number 3 now, and that is, who is your inspiration within the furry fandom? Yes.
What inspired me to be in the fandom? That's a really good question because there's a lot of things. From beginning by watching at, like, furry cringe compilations as a kid and being like, you know what, I don't think that's cringe, I think that's pretty cool. But more like recently, what got me to get a fursuit was a fursuiter named Hey It's Faye. They are like a kangaroo shark, and they're super cool. They do parkour in fursuit, which is like crazy. But they like totally inspired me when I was going through a really tough time. And they kind of talked to me, and really was just like, I need to get a fursuit. I want to be like this person. And I made a super rash decision and bought Hyper. He was a pre-made. So yeah, that's really what inspired me to be in the fandom, or to get a fursuit. I was kind of like interested in the fandom for quite a while, but that was like, okay, I need a fursuit now. I was going through like a really tough time also, so it was just kind of like, that was what got me through everything. So thank you, Hey It's Faye. Even if you didn't mean it, you inspired me to do everything I do now. So yeah. Thank you.
I think that is really cool that they inspired you, especially during a hard time. You know, I think we all have hard times, and I think that's really cool that they inspired you during that. I think that's really cool you got the fursuit during that you saw them, you know, just doing all the parkour. That's really awesome, my dude. Yes. Now, on to the full question now, and that is, What was your first furry convention? Yes.
Ooh, what was my first furry convention? Well, I have been to, oh gosh, how many have I been to? I've been to MFF twice. I've been to Anthrocon, Anther Northwest, and Indie FurCon, which was my first con. So I think if I counted that right, that's 6 cons, I think, or 5. It's a number of cons, but I started Indie FurCon, and I went there because I had a friend who actually lived in Ohio, but went to Indiana for Indie FurCon, and I was like, I can go there. Why don't I go to that con too? So I packed my stuff and I left the state forever. No, I went to Indie FurCon, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I just hung out with friends, started to learn how to act as a fursuiter, and at the time I did not have a sign. That was another year in the future. I got a sign, actually almost about a year. But yeah, that was my first con. It was super fun. And yeah, that's what started my adventures, going to conventions. Since then, I've been to 4 or 5 other cons. Yeah.
You know, I've always wanted to go to IndieCon, but I've never been. My first furry convention was MFF 18. I think I've actually been to 10 cons now, believe it or not. So I know my next con is FWA 23. Yes, 2023 now, isn't it? But no, that's really cool, my dude. You've been to Indie Fur, and that's really neat. Yes, 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 yes. Yee! Now, on to the 5th and final question. And this is a really serious topic, but it's one me and Hyper feel like we wanted to address. And that is, how did you overcome suicide? And to those who are struggling, what are some things you want to tell them to help them today?
Hey, Benji. Well, Benji, thank you for asking this question. Honestly, this is a question that really means a lot to me personally. And just the topic of mental health and suicide awareness is just a really big thing for me. Because 18 months ago, I attempted suicide. I spent 2 years of just going through unbelievable amounts of stress and anxiety and depression, to a point where I was just I planned a date where I did not want to be here anymore. That's the point I got to. And you get to that point and you completely lose your ambitions for the future. You completely lose your drive to do anything past that date. And I really had no plans for the future. I was ready to just be done. I started canceling things. I stopped trying on things, until the day I attempted. And honestly, it's the day I regret the most throughout my entire life. And thanks to a friend and my family who got an emergency vehicle to me, I'm here today. But it's a very difficult situation, and there's a lot of people who are going through it. And everyone who is experiencing it right now, your feelings are totally valid, and it is not a bad thing to get help. But how did I overcome that? A lot of things. A lot of things that would take too long to explain, but through talking to people and even medication for me, I've overcome it. Well, I'm still struggling with things, but I know what it is now, and I know how to cope and how to work through things and talk to people. And honestly, those are so important, being able to talk about it and be this is a serious thing. I need to take this seriously. But it is such a big thing that so many people go through, and you might not even know. And they're going through something so difficult right now. This might be the most difficult time of their lives. And it's just, there's nothing wrong with just reaching out to people if they seem off and being like, hey, what's going on? Is everything okay? And they might not respond. They might not tell you the truth, but being there for someone, letting them know that you're there, It's just so important. And if I have like one message to anyone who is going through mental health or anything like that, is keep on going. Things are going to get better. And your feelings that you're feeling right now, those are valid feelings. Those aren't things that you need to keep kept up. Those are things that you can talk to people about, and people will be there. So that's what I have to say is your feelings are valid and you matter. Just keep going. Life will get better. But yeah, thank you, Benji. That's a really important question to me.
I have to admit, that is very, very powerful what you said there, Hyper. Back in, I think it was 2021, maybe 2020, I actually attempted my life too. And to those who struggle with that, to those who are struggling at all with that, with mental health, with suicidal thoughts, with anything like that, no, you are definitely not alone. Me and Hyper have both struggled with that a lot, especially myself in the past. With my younger days, I definitely really struggled with mental health. I still kind of do today. I still struggle a lot, but I'm definitely better off. I've as well as overcome suicide as well. We both have, and just know you are not alone. We're there for you. If you feel like Hyper said, if you have mental health issues, if you feel like you need help, no, you have people you can turn to. Don't think you're alone. You are not. We are there for you. Anyway, I want to thank so much to Hyper, especially for that last question. That's something I feel like we all should definitely address more with suicide awareness. That's a very serious thing, especially for those who have struggled with that, like me and Hyper. So definitely feel free to check out Hyper's everything. It's Twitter. I think all he has is Twitter, but sure, check him out. He has. I think he actually had a tweet that basically described his whole story with his suicidal awareness stuff. So definitely check that out. Yeah, so definitely be sure to check him out. He's a really nice guy. He's honestly such an amazing person. I can't describe it enough.
Thank you, Benji, though, for having me. Honestly, I am so grateful that you reached out to me. I am very happy that you did. It was really fun being able to share these stories, and you're doing a great job. I love your YouTube channel, and yeah, thank you. I hope everybody has a great day. I have a sign. Signs are amazing. If you don't have a sign, you should get a sign because they're awesome. Signs are the best things ever. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, thank you all so much for coming to the video. I know it got a little deep there, but thank you all so much for coming. If you all enjoyed this, give this a like, subscribe, of course, turn on notifications. Be sure to check out Hyper Coyote's links all down below. All his links, all his descriptions, stuffies, yeah. So be sure to check him out. Of course, I hope you all have an amazing day. Keep being positive, keep being happy, and as for always, I've been Gel, a good farewell.